Okay, so
N-
good
Not,
evening to you all. Good afternoon. We have full house here in Porto. Thank you so much for coming. I hope in Lisbon you are also warm.
yeah,
Uh,
all good
we
here.
have here a little bit of rain outside, but here inside I have a warm feeling of a lot of founders and investors here in the room. So it's the what we need to keep us warm. So thank you very much for coming. This is the edition 35 of our Above and Beyond Hangout. So imagine 35 months, every month, doing this get together, this networking moment, these panels and discussions that address the issues of the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Portugal and abroad. So Startup Portugal organizes this every month with pleasure and with all the energy that we have. Our team is divided in Lisbon and in Porto simultaneously, and we also have a streaming transmission to everybody that uh, cannot be here with us in person. So this is a special Christmas edition. We have a gift for you, and the gift will be a reverse pitch from investors. So what will happen is that we'll have the opposite that we are usually seeing. We usually see founders pitching, and today we are going to see investors pitching for their funds and their strategies. So I hope that we'll have a great edition today. We also, I would like also to put you up to date with the last from our entrepreneurial ecosystem, and I will highlight two main aspects. Well, after a busy and very successful edition of Web Summit this year, we launched new public policies to startups that we will deploy in 2025. So pay attention and stay tuned to Startup Portugal communication website and all the media supports because we will have additional public policies and support to entrepreneurial activity in Portugal, namely a deep tech fund and also an ignition fund that is called Start from Knowledge, that is specifically dedicated to support entrepreneurial initiatives coming from academia, from students, uh, from teachers, and from all the academia ecosystem. So in 2025, we will give you the launching of these initiatives that are included in a package that the government announced at the Web Summit called Acelerar Economia. And inside that package, they announced measures that were presented at the Web Summit by the Minister of Economy include these two that I talked to you about, and they will be really important measures to promote and to develop our ecosystem. I'd like to talk to you also about business abroad missions. What are the business abroad missions? We at Startup Portugal help Portuguese startups to go abroad and to scale up, making them, well, with our support, go to international missions, knowing different geographies, knowing different stakeholders, future clients, investors, all around the world. And we have recently launched the 2025 edition of our Business Abroad program. And the last date for applications to the first three destinations is already 27th of December. So if you are interested, and you have to be, well, really interested, so we don't want to have business tourism or people going to travel with us only to see for the first time. We should have with us real startups that want to scale abroad to these destinations. So that want really, after studying them, after developing their business plans and their strategy, that want to really terms to be present in these geographies. And we'll launch, we already launched several geographies, but the three that are now with applications ending in the 27th of December are Tech Arena in Sweden. It's a new destination, so Nordic countries in Europe. It's a great market for expansion. So, and Tech Arena is an amazing conference that puts together startups, corporates, innovative companies, and investors. So, well, search the Tech Arena conference and see if it's of your interest to participate. And if it is, don't forget 27th of December. We also have Web Summit Qatar, the second of the three initial destinations, and 4 years from now in Barcelona. 4 years from now is, well, Web Summit Qatar, let me start by that after Tech Arena. So Web Summit Qatar is especially useful to connect you with capital, with investors. As you know, in that part of the world, we have a lot of active, relevant institutional investors and big funds searching for new innovative projects and businesses. We have been there last year for the first time with 8 startups directly supported by Startup Portugal. And it was a real interesting experience. And so this year we want to take even more startups to Web Summit Qatar, okay? 4 years from now in Barcelona, it's a startup conference that it's developed, that happens at the same time as Mobile World Congress. Mobile World Congress is the biggest, largest conference dedicated to telecom industry in the world that takes place in Barcelona every year. And in the same place, we have a specific conference dedicated to startups, not only telecom startups, so startups from whatever vertical they are. And they benefit from all the participants at the Mobile World Congress, about 80,000 people visiting Mobile World Congress. And of course, Catalonia and that part of Spain is really strategic in terms of some verticals like med tech, like industry, automotive industry, for instance, tourism, and several other really relevant economic activities that make Catalonia the most important region in Spain in terms of GDP and economic power. So it's really a good complement to South Summit in Madrid. I would say that 4 years from now is really an interesting moment and conference to showcase your products and services if you want to go to that part of Iberia Peninsula and that part of Europe. So, well, until 27th of December, you know, you can find out at the website of Startup Portugal and see if it's interesting for you. The next date that you should bear in mind is the 2nd of March. That is the final date for applications for the other geographies that we have in business abroad missions in Startup Portugal in 2025, okay? The last thing is a SIM conference that is going to take place here in Porto, 8th and 9th of May, 2025, following our first edition in 2024. That, well, it was really, I cannot say better than regarding this first edition. It was amazing, more than 2,000 participants, 40% foreigners, several international relevant agents, investors, speakers from all over the world, and a really relevant showcase of the Portuguese entrepreneurial ecosystem where we put it on the main stage of the conference and the main actor of that conference, and a really good curated agenda that is specifically designed for inspiring founders and making them connect in a useful way with investors. So it will happen on the 8th and 9th of May 2025 in Alfândega Congress Center in Porto. And it's a partnership, well, between Startup Portugal, Municipality of Porto, and several other important sponsors that are helping us to put together this amazing conference. So we have early bird tickets on sale now. This early bird period will end soon, so if you want to get tickets at a special price, you can go to our website and register, okay? It's the Christmas edition, so I will hope that you have excellent time for resting, for being with your family, for having great holidays, and to recharge your batteries for an enthusiastic 2025. And I leave you with Madalena Cardoso here in Porto from my team, Startup Portugal, and João Moreira Pires in Lisbon to go on with our Hangout and present our investors for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Antonio. Hi, everyone. I'm your host here in Lisbon, and it's a pleasure for this very special Christmas session of the Above and Beyond Hangouts. Over in Porto, we have Madalena, keeping everything in check. Madalena, what can you tell us that makes this Hangout so special?
So hello, everyone. It's amazing to be here again with you. What makes this Hangout super special is that tonight we are reversing the roles. So instead of having startups pitching, we will have investors pitching. So investors this time will be on the spotlight.
That's actually amazing. Now let's set some ground rules for this reverse pitch session. Each investor has up to 8 minutes to pitch. The time might be brutally enforced by Madalena and I with the help of a whistle that I have in my pocket. So cover your mouth. Sorry, not your mouth, your ears. And then we will have questions from the audience. I urge you all to pay close attention and fire your best questions when asked. How often can you be on the feedback giving end with an investor?
So founders and investors pay real close attention. So this is a huge opportunity for you to ask for the numbers, for you to even ask how many startups have they supported, or even be bold enough to ask them if they have enough traction. So, well.
That's right. Let's get this going, and I welcome on stage, and I ask for your applause, Rita Branco and Bárbara Leão de Carvalho for 3XP Global.
Thank you so much for having us, Startup Portugal. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Rita, and I work with Bárbara in an impact fund. First, we are going to talk about the impact fund. João, there's 2 of us. It should be 16 minutes, not 8, but okay. So we are 3XP Global, is a Portuguese firm that was created in 2019 to develop sustainable and impact investments. Since then, we are now managing 5 funds within these verticals: health and life sciences, responsible AI, and impact investments. We are now a team of 15 people based in Portugal, in Lisbon, and in Barcelona, in Spain. And we have a really diversified team, complementary team. So from the ESG space, from financial space, of course, and so we are really proud on our team. About the Impact Innovation Fund. I don't know if you know a lot about impact investing in Portugal, but until now there was only one impact fund, and now there's us. And so it's a women-led fund, as you can see. It's a 25 million euros fund, backed up by 2 banks and by 2 other institutional investors. And we are looking for solutions for companies with solid economic results, because we believe that it's possible to do good and do money at the same time. So being financially sustainable, it's also important for us, okay? So in terms of our investment thesis, we are searching for companies with revenues already in Portugal and in Spain, so in the Iberian space, and that are in the stages of pre-Series A, Series A's, and forward. And we always play a really active role in our portfolio companies, because as an impact fund, the non-financial support that we pay to our portfolio companies is as important as the financial one. So we really pay non-financial support on a daily basis for our portfolio companies. Yeah, about tickets, our tickets go from 250K up to 5 million euros, and we favor a blended finance strategy, And we can talk about that in the afterwards if you want to. Barbara.
So, good night. It's very, very nice being here with you. And yes, as you might understand, investors are as enthusiastic as about their themes and their knowledge also as the entrepreneurs. So we are really passion-driven also. Our drive is really on focus on the solutions that are bringing, relevance to the ecosystem, social and ecological. I mean, we are more social fund, but we really intend to bring systemic change. So we are an impact-first fund, okay? So we do value solidity in terms of financials, but we also value the drive, the sincerity, and intentionality of the companies that we potentially be investing in. And because of that, we've been screening hundreds, thousands of companies so far, and encountering amazing solutions. Normally, we go for, so we have a lot of the School of Social Innovation within our own DNA. But so normally we look if they have the theory of change structured. If you've never heard of this framework, just reach out. We can explain you further. Proof of concept done. And for us, proof of concept is when the revenue model is aligned with the impact model. So we call it the next lockstep model. I'm sorry. And so we do believe that if they have this alignment, the more the companies sell, the more impact they bring. So that's why relevance in terms of the financials, in our case, in our perspective, will lead to higher impact levels. Okay, so. Yes, normally we are a generalistic fund, so we don't have a particular vertical that we invest, especially because 25 million euros fund for the geography of Portugal and Spain could be it's maybe even too much in a moment that we are all growing in terms of impact investing. So we do believe that it's better to be open to different technologies, to different solutions, but we hope to be investing more in education, inclusion, and climate change. So if you have projects on these areas, also reach out to us.
Yes, we are deploying capital as we speak. So it's
yes,
really,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's really important.
Yes, we walk our talk, okay, so we have our own theory of change, and we are really hoping to bring with all the inputs and all the enthusiasm around the capacity building that we bring to bring financial inclusion to the ecosystem. So there are amazing entrepreneurs that they're super solid in their financial literacy, but on the impact scenario, normally it's different. So we bring a lot of this knowledge of how can they monetize their value, how can they roll out this money value through financial proxies. I don't want to be very geeky in here, but there are really ways of really monetizing that back to the P&L. So we really hope that we help them to build portfolio around the solution that they are bringing, because sometimes it's not obvious, and sometimes entrepreneurs, they're not seeing that they can actually monetize this or that angle that they are bringing as value to the ecosystem. Okay, so that's why we hope to bring a lot more revenues to them so that they can become autonomous and stop fundraising and don't need us anymore. Okay, so this is what we hope for the ecosystem. Not changing. Okay, so we are so proud. Also, our advisory board is mostly women-led. It's not on purpose. It's really...
Yes, we are inclusive. We are really inclusive, but yes.
But we have probably faces and hearts that you already know from the ecosystem. We're very proud of them also. And obviously we work in teams, so we love to collaborate and really be relevant in the ecosystem. So we speak among each other, and we try to add value as much as we can to the ecosystem. So now what? This is not helping me. Do you want to film this?
No, yes, we invite you to be part of our mission and to come and talk with us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any questions here?
We have one here in Lisbon.
Okay, so hi, thank you for presentation. I'm actually also a representative of Impact Fund. So I have a question. Maybe you can share with us your best startups invested in and how you help them to grow. Like share your, best stories.
Okay, so we're still doing our final closing, so we are already deploying capital, but I have maybe a story that I can tell. So a company that actually they have an amazing technology for screening cereals, and they were selling the screening cereals in order to bring more efficiency for the moagens, how do I say? So the fabrics
Mills.
that, yes, thank you. The point was when we were, instead of 3 weeks on labs coming in and out with the samples, they have a technology that they can do the screening in 1 hour. This is amazing, value proposition for waste, amazing, okay? But during the process with us, we wanted more the social angle. So we searched for that, and we realized that applying the same technology along the value chain, especially in the small producers, that they could screen the quality of the cereals in the producers, so that the producers would have a lot more arguments to actually sell in the big market and not being squeezed by the big players. So they are revising all the business plan and a lot more aligned in their own impact, their value, and even the valuation of their company is a lot higher because now they have different pools of clients with different value propositions for each one, and they might really, we hope so, to be absolutely game-changing in the ecosystem because they are actually providing a solution for the whole value chain, right? So this impact angle, this is exactly what we see. So if we try to see through the lens of systemic change and really adding value, sometimes there are pearls that were not been discovered yet, and we can help them.
Yeah, I think we have time for one more question. Quick one, please.
Hello. So I have a quick question. So where do you find these impact founders? I heard you talking a lot about diversity, and usually less privileged people tend to have more difficulty to access information and all this amazing ecosystem that we have here. So I was interested in learning more about how you find those diverse founders and impact companies.
Fortunately, we have lots of opportunities come to us organically because we are already known in the ecosystem, especially in Portugal, but also in Spain. So a lot of opportunities come organically. But we have been partnering up with, with the major players here and in Spain, from universities to incubators, and it's going really well. But you're right, there are still lots of work to do in terms of inclusion and diversity, and we are working on it as we speak. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Hi. Thank you so much. Now over to you in Porto, Madalena. No. Please go ahead.
I feel like we have a question wrong, but if we're going to have time to ask all the questions you have. So moving on to the first speech here in Porto, we'll have Bernardo Paquito, Investment Director at Beta Capital. So let's welcome him to the stage.
Thank you. I accept the challenge of the reverse speech, even though, at Beta Capital, we may not say that we are on the other side of the table because we are founded by entrepreneurs. In our team, we have a lot of entrepreneurs. And, there's this time when we need to vest the clothes of the investor and put you difficult questions. But that's the only part where we do it. On this period of the analysis, but then afterwards, we are part of the team as an entrepreneur because this is our foundation. So of course we are a venture capital firm, and our vision is to empower innovation to build better and sustainable businesses. And we do that by financing and supporting innovative tech ventures in the early stages. We've been doing this for the last 20 years, and we have two main differentiators. We come from tech, so our founding team, our legacy is engineers and entrepreneurs with technical background, which give us a good sense of technical innovation, and disruption. And on the other end, we as entrepreneurs can provide this type of support to the founders in the early stages. So we are focused in tech and early stage. We've been doing from pre-seed to seed and Series A, but always with this focus on the early stages. And our team has been working together for a long time, so we know each other very well, and we are very experienced in managing venture capital funds and supporting our portfolio companies. And over these 20 years, we manage different funds, agnostic or sectorial. We invested in over 40 innovative projects. Right now, we have 4 funds active and 40 million euros under management, with 15 portfolio companies active. So we want to keep expanding our impact, even though we are not an impact fund. And to support all the innovation ecosystem by financing and supporting the businesses. And for that, of course, we have sorry, something happened. Yeah, thank you. We have a strategy for that, but I will not bother with that. I will jump right into the active opportunities, the funds that we are investing with at the moment. So this is Beta Innovation Fund, agnostic fund, investing in what we call scale-ups, meaning that the company needs to have some proof of concept and early sales. The typical sectors of deep innovation are ICT, new materials, health science, and also food tech. But we are open to study projects that are tech based in any area, and all the other criteria of venture capital that you are aware of: the high growth potential, the dedication and complementarity of the team, and of course the financials need to make sense. But this is only after you explain me what problem are you solving with what solution. Our portfolio is diverse, as you can see. You may recognize some of these companies. So we know is a biotech company doing testing to food to detect authenticity of the food that you eat. GovWise is helping companies that go to public tenders to save a lot of time and money in these public tendering processes. Otterway developed a passive battery that makes you have instant hot water in your showers without wasting energy or water. Nutrium, a nutritional software for nutritionists to use to manage the relations with their customers. Volta SuperCloud, ImmuneTap developing immunotherapies. Azitech, company from UPTech, developing devices to monitor, to track assets inside industrial warehouses. And Nuada, which developed a revolutionary glove that you can use if you have any issues with your movement with the hands to grab objects and keep doing your life as you did before having the problem. So just to wrap up, all these portfolio companies are very different from each other. Some are more advanced than others, but this is the scope that we are comfortable with working with. We also have an active fund that I will not cover in detail because we have Sara here that will probably most definitely explain better. Sograb Ventures Fund, which is also in investing, and so as you do in your pitches, there has to be a ask in the end. Don't worry, I'm not asking you 1 million euros today, okay? But I will ask you to keep working hard on your projects, and I will ask not 1 million, but many projects to come to us, pitching their innovative ideas and defending their value propositions and their missions. and we will be happy to study your projects and to provide you quick feedback as we always do. Thank you, and I'm open for questions.
Do we have any questions? Vamos outro microfone. Ele está com.
Any questions here in Lisbon?
Ah,
Not everyone at the same
Do you
time,
need
please.
my mic?
we have one question here.
Okay,
yeah, I
perfect.
think it will be here.
No problem.
I will just, yeah. Okay.
Hi, nice to meet you here again. To me, it wasn't clear what are the criteria for decision making. You know, when you hear about innovation startup, how you make your mind and how it goes.
Sure. So as you understood, we have different funds under management. Each fund has their own investment policy, goals, and comfortable areas, let's say, because each fund has their own investors, and we are working to the investors that invest in our funds, you know? So having said this, for instance, Beta Innovation Fund, which is currently investing, first, I mean, I'm not giving you all the criteria right now, but the most important thing is first you explain there is a need or a problem that has significant dimension to be considered for venture capital, and your solution addresses this problem in a better, faster, cheaper way, something that is differentiated from what's else in the market. So this brings me to the second topic, differentiation. We see a lot of projects. Of course, there's no brilliant idea that no one ever thought about it. We understand that, but you still need to have defensibility anyway, because that's important for our criteria. The team needs to be not only fully dedicated, but show at least two very important skills. One is the technical expertise they need to implement the project, and the other is some. We invested in a lot of entrepreneurs that were not entrepreneurs before, but you still need to show that you are willing to do that pathway and have some business sense, you know, because in the end this is business, and in the end we need to provide returns to our investors. So for us, problem solution, differentiation, team, and of course the business model and some financials that make sense are the key criteria.
Right. So thank you very much. I believe we.
There's
another question. Do we have time? Okay, we'll have time.
Sorry if we don't, but now I have the mic.
Yeah.
No, that's all.
But the question's time also.
Okay, sorry if I'm taking any time.
No,
I would just like to question, as an entrepreneur and now a VC, how do you identify and select the right VC, and how does Beta Capital identifies as that?
How would I find the right investor for myself if I find funding a project? Yeah, that's the key question you're asking. So you're already giving quite an answer, because you ask the question to yourself. That's the most important thing. Of course, in the end, money is money. If you need 1 million euros, you will need a lot of money that probably is only money, and that's fine. Sometimes there are projects that we support that we don't have an active role, and that's fine. But you need to understand what your project brings also to the type of investor you are approaching. And you do that by looking at the portfolio companies, the previous investments of the firm. You do that by talking to the startup founders of those companies and asking, look, this guy from this company, what kind of support did he give you throughout the journey? Because I can tell a lot of good things. We support a lot, we open doors, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, it's the day-to-day relationship that matters. And you can do that by talking to the founders. Then you also need to understand, and this is to all and to the future, we saying no doesn't mean anything. It just says that at this moment, for us, for some reason, it doesn't make sense. We try to explain and to give whys. You may disagree. Sometimes there may be other aspects rather than the ones we say. We try not to do that, but sometimes it has to be like that. But it only means that. So you need to find the right investor for your project. I hope I give you some tips on how to do that, but we can talk afterwards as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Bernard. Back to Lisbon.
Thanks, Madalena. Now, to get this reverse pitch continued, please welcome with a roaring applause André Albergaria, co-founder and principal at Biovance Capital.
Okay, thank you very much. So, thank you for the invitation. It's great for me to be here. Actually, on the screen, I'm seeing a lot of friends in Porto. I was supposed to be in Porto because I'm located there and work there. But today it was the board meeting of the company that is located, the headquarters here in London, in Lisbon. It was supposed to be in London, so in Lisbon, and that's why I'm here today. I did not move to Lisbon yet. So it's a great moment for us to present this new fund that was launched in June 2024. It's a quite recent fund that you might be heard about already. It's Biovance Capital Fund. It's a fund that is managed by Biovance Capital management company. It's a specialized fund. It's the first European investment fund backed healthcare fund in Portugal and the only dedicated early stage biotech fund in Iberia. At the moment, I sent the deck for Startup Portugal for this event today. We were at 53 million, but yesterday we received a very good news. Another big investor came in, a big pharma with more 3 million. So at this moment, we are at 56 million with a hard cap of 60 that we are trying to reach this hard cap by June 2025. And we hope that we can reach this amount in June 2025 because we can reinforce the fund size that we can invest here in Portugal. Why I'm saying that? Because Biovance Capital will be investing anywhere in Europe with a special focus on the South Europe, Portugal, Spain, and also Italy. For the same reasons that we actually launched the fund, this kind of specialized fund in Portugal. We found very good science, medical science here in our country, and we also find several and very good science in Spain, in Italy. But the thing is that if you go in some sort of a graphic and you see the number of biotechs that we have in Portugal, in Spain, and in Italy, is quite good, halfway on the metrics that we would like to have. But when you see the number of VCs that can have the appropriate financial tools to support these companies, you don't have any specialized VC in biotech in Portugal. So we will be invested between 1 and 9 million in 12 startups developing transformative therapies for unmet medical needs. This is a very specialized fund. We will be looking only for medical therapeutics. We will not investing in medical device, in medtech, in biomarkers, or cosmetics, or diagnostic devices. We are just investing in new therapies, high risk, high return, as you can imagine. So seed and Series A investments, as I said, our geographic focus will be Portugal, Spain, and Italy. We already have institutional LPs and high quality deal flow here in Portugal. I can tell you that we have, in the last 5 to 6 months, about 300 DACs with opportunities to invest here in Portugal. It's an experienced team with scientists from Harvard and Imperial College from London. I'm from Imperial College from London. We have Ricardo from Harvard Medical School and also João, that is a medical doctor. So as investors, we have European Investment Fund, Caixa Capital, AGEAs, Banco Português de Fomento, some pension funds, other family office from US and Portugal, and also from Europe. So this is the team, as I said. So our precedent fund was Bionova Capital, with a huge milestone in biotech that we have, you might be heard. So I was involved in LeanFact some years ago, as I will show you, but actually we had very recently the biggest milestone in terms of an exit, in terms of biotech in Portugal, with the exit of CellMaps to the German company, pharmaceutical company, BioNTech, with a deal of 1B. So it's quite remarkable for us, for Portugal, and it shows that we have this potential in terms of life sciences. So Ricardo was involved in this deal. It has 8 years of VC experience in Portugal. He also worked with me previously in Portugal Ventures. João Ince, as I said, is a general partner. It's a clinician with experience in pharma and also worked in SR1. It was formed in Harvard Medical School. It works in Vertex Pharma as well. Me, André Albergaria, from Imperial College, worked. I'm a researcher with 24 years of experience. All of them in Ipatimu Pai3S back in Porto, and I'm still a professor, associate professor at the medical faculty of Porto, and this is our operational team. So this is So Biovance Capital is supported by a world-class advisory board that addresses several verticals that is important in this very complex area of investment. It's science. It's impossible to invest in science if you don't understand science. So we have people here to look for our projects and to work very close with us, people with that is coming from pharmaceutical companies, from the equity business vertical, also from pharmaceutical companies and academia as well, and also from science. So the track record, we have these 2 profitable exits with life-saving potential very early. The earliest one was the BioNTech. As I said, I was involved in 2013 in Portugal Ventures with LeanFact. I was overseeing LeanFact and then other 2 oncology companies because my background is oncology. In 2018, this company was acquired by the UK-based biotech company Gamma Delta Therapeutics, and then in 2021 was acquired by Takeda. So we have now a cell therapy for immuno-oncology in phase 2 in clinical trials around the world. So most recently, Ricardo was involved in this huge deal of 1B. It was, as you can see here from PitchBook, it was the largest deal ever this year in 2024, this acquisition by BioNTech. So where we invest, how we create value. So we, as I said, focus on therapeutics in areas of unmet need. So agnostic on the indication. So we'll be investing in all indications from neuro to oncology to rare disease, small, large molecules, vaccine, cell, gene therapies. We are just not investing in other verticals that are not therapeutics. The thing about the stage, as I mentioned, seed and early stage, and also we are very focused on the value creation because this is a very specialized team. The most easiest part, as you know, is just to pass the check, but the most difficult thing is to run these projects and to be part of the solution and be with the science and discuss the science directly with entrepreneurs. So the strong connection with experts and advisors and investors worldwide that we can provide for these companies, because we all also want to co-invest with big ventures, with big VCs around Europe. So in terms of our thesis, technology, we seek truly transformative therapies across all medical indications, as I mentioned, drug modalities as well, with patentable assets, in vivo animal tests. The team, profound technical expertise in terms of market, of course, that we want to target big markets greater than 1B, and with a VC activity that is strong for have profitable access. Thank you very much. And I avoided thing.
Just in time to avoid the whistle.
Not
Congrats.
by the valve. Thank you.
Any questions?
Just stay here for a bit to see if we have questions.
So here in Porto, we don't have any
We
questions yet.
strongly advise you to take the chance for questions. Is it on? We have one here.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Well, you are very specific about the startups, and you choose the hard ones. So they have to pass by a screening which is regulatory. So what is the TRL of the innovation that you accept? You accept from what TRL?
Well, we are not looking for this, this metrics about TRL. We will be investing for life sciences. Sometimes it's quite difficult to address the TRL, especially because it's a very fragmented area. So we will look for seed and Series A. We are just looking. It's all about quality of science. It's all about the likelihood of success throughout the regulatory process. So we want to see good science. We need good experiments and good results in vivo, at least, not necessarily GLP in vivo requirements. We will be also supported by experts on the PK side, on the DMPK side, that we will look for the project. So it's difficult to say that we are in the TRL 3 or 4 or 5. We will be looking for quality of science and likelihood of success. We will be looking deeply. Actually, this is a very intense moment for Biovance Capital because we are still in fundraising until June. And as we speak, we are doing due diligence for an investment of 8.5 million until 15th of January. So it's a very intense moment for us, and precisely we are looking for all these aspects that will impact on the success of this investment.
I think this is it. Thank you so much, André.
Yeah, thank you.
Madeleine, over to you.
Thank you very much. So now let's welcome to the stage Sara, Innovation Manager at Sograp Ventures. So Sara Mendes, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I believe I won't need the whistle. Less than 8 minutes. Can you put the presentation, please? Okay, so I'm Innovation Manager at Sograp, and I'm here to present you our corporate venture capital fund, Sograp Ventures. But first, I believe I need to present you Sograp also. I don't know if many of you know Sograp, but Sograp is a house of brands. So we sell wine. We are a family-owned company, so we have 82 years old, but we are proud to say that we were born from an innovation. Because if you think about Mateus Rosé, 82 years ago, so a pink wine, when in Portugal everyone drank red wine. So it was created to export. So we believe Fernando Vanzelerguedes was visionary at that time. And also the iconic bottle, I believe that you know it. It was strategic. It was an homage to the soldiers of the First World War, but it was a smaller bottle to be in the shelves in the supermarket in front of taller bottles. So with a label up front, so everything was quite strategic in this creation. And that's why we are always proud to say that we were born from innovation. So we want to keep this legacy going. And that's why we believe the corporate venture fund capital is quite important for Sograp. So it's part of our own innovation strategy. It's a way to keep going our own legacy. And for that, we have created, it's only 1 year old, so quite a recent corporate venture capital fund. It's a 5 million early stage CVC fund, and we have tickets up to 200K. For us, it's a strategic fund because it's part of our innovation strategy. So the first talks with founders, it's always my team, the innovation team. But of course, we have the investment analysis by Beta Capital, like Bernard was mentioning. I will talk about it in a bit. But as a strategic fund, for us, we are looking for solutions that address our own challenges. So we are looking for solutions in our own value chain. So although it's quite, we have a specific vertical. So in the industry, it's a wine value chain, but it's a big value chain. So from Industry 4.0 and agri-tech for the viticulture side, then the authenticity and traceability that we are always looking for innovative technologies in this dimension. Of course, new packaging and materials. It's quite important for us to be aware and to have this radar of startups that are doing things in this dimension. Then unforgettable experiences, because although we don't sell to our final consumer because we are B2B, so we sell to distributors, retailers, and restaurants, we want to know what our final consumer wants. So for us, it's quite important to give them great experiences, not only regarding the products, but of course, wine tourism experiences and all of that. Then not so core, but we need to look at other non-wine beverages. So we have this radar also open, although we are a wine company and we still want to continue it. It's important for us to address this through this positioning in the innovation ecosystem and keep working on this. So as I was mentioning, as a strategic fund, more than the financial investment, we also wanted to give to the startups and to the founders this non-financial investment. So we have 82 years old know-how. We have established partnerships. So we want to help the entrepreneurs to test and to develop, and all that we can do that are in our power to help them have this reach. And the fund is managed by Beta Capital because we do all these first conversations with the startups just to see the strategic fit. But we do amazing wine, but we don't manage funds. So we hired a perfect VC fund for a VC company for it. So Beta Capital, Bernardo and Rui are always with us in the following up calls. If we find some interesting startup and founders, they will do the second call with us. And we have an investment committee that meets regularly. So we have 2 people from inside Sograp because of this strategic alignment, and also 2 people from outside, but related with the wine and with the industry. So for us, of course, it's also quite important to have this social impact, market potential, and we were mentioning the criteria. So more than the problem solution fit, of course, the team and whatever they are doing it, it's quite important for us. We only have 12 months of CVC fund, but we have already done an investment. So it's in a Spanish startup because we have Spain for us is also quite important because it's part of our strategy at Sograp. We have production sites in Portugal, Spain, Chile, Argentina, and New Zealand. So to have this investment in Spain was important for us also. And it's interesting because they are not quite related with our core business, but they are addressing something that is really important for us because they are helping to increase the rates of the recycling rates. So we sell wine in bottles, so we need to address that. So they are a smart waste management company, startup. So they have the hardware, the software. They do incentives, rewards regarding the recycling that citizens are doing and the consumers. So they are our first investment. And yes, that's it. So final pitch. We really want you to reach out to us with a pitch deck or an idea if you think there's a fit. So please talk with ventures at sograp.pt, and we are really happy to talk with you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. So questions? Any questions in Lisbon?
Anyone here wants to ask about the bottles of wine?
They prefer the wine. All good?
We have one.
Okay.
So, okay. Perfect. Thank you for the presentation. So you emphasized that social impact is important for you. So how do you express social impacts as a wine, so alcohol business?
So we have in our regulations the ESG. So it's quite important for us, and Beta Capital is always helping us remember that. And it's not always easy, so not quite social, but sustainability-wise. And of course, we need to have the solutions that can also address it. But yes, it's hard in the wine industry to have social impact. But Sograp, actually, from the viticulture side of it, it's quite important in the social communities in Douro. And so we have connections with the social impact that we have, sustainability-wise. And we also want to bring that to the ventures and to all the solutions that we are looking for.
Any other question? Okay, so thank you very much, Sara.
Thank you.
Back to you, Lisbon.
Well, thank you, Madalena. Now please welcome Alvaro Garcia, early stage VC investor at Beyond Venture Capital. Applaud the man, applaud the man.
Well, thanks everyone for the invitation here. It's great to be speaking to you about Bind. So let's begin with maybe a bit about our history and where we come from. 1 second. There we go. So Bind begins in 2008 actually as a single business angel, which then professionalizes to a syndicate of business angels, which gives names to VC angels, and that keeps on professionalizing in 2015, where we actually set up the fund manager and we launched our first venture capital fund per se, with a pure focus in Portugal. And then, well, we keep on investing. Fortunately, things have been going on well. We, in 2019, launched the second fund, and we rebrand to Bind, which is the current name of the venture capital fund. And well, now in 2024, we'll give you some more details about the stage where we are right now, but we are in the process, and we've already made a first close for our third venture capital fund, okay? So, moving on to who we are a diverse team. We are spread between the main, I would say, Iberian tech hubs between Lisbon, Porto, Madrid, and Barcelona. I'm based personally in Madrid, but most of the team is here in Lisbon. The partnership is made out of Santiago Salazar, who is that single business angel that started the fund in 2008, and then Francisco Pinto in Lisbon, Lourdes in Porto, and Thomas also here in Lisbon. So regarding the funds we are currently managing, we have 3 funds under management, with different vintages, 2015, 2019, and 2024. As you can see, we've been exponentially increasing the size of the fund. This is because we've actually been doing quite well in terms of the performance, and well, overall, we're seeing a good evolution of the ecosystem in Spain and Portugal to keep on increasing the size and the opportunities there for sure. In terms of the areas, as you can see, we've been very loyal to our thesis, to our initial thesis, which is generalist fund, B2B, B2C. We do both, and with an exclusive focus, this is key in Iberia, in Spain and Portugal. Here are a few of our main success cases. It's good to mention the fact that we have different success cases with different business models, both B2C, B2B, and well, both based in Spain and Portugal. And also, we have several of those that are present in the US and in other international countries, which well speaks good about the process of internationalization, which for us is key when we invest in a company, the fact that we are able to help them grow and expand internationally. Regarding portfolio structure and composition, as we were saying, we define ourselves as an Iberian venture capital, and this is reflected very clearly in the split of geographies. As you can see there, we have 18 Portuguese startups in the portfolio and 16 Spanish ones. One key point and one thing we take pride of here is on helping Portuguese companies go to Spain and Spanish companies go to Portugal, in a way acting as a bridge, because in many cases it's like the natural next step for companies when they are expanding. Hold on a second. Yeah, well, as I was saying here before, this is the, I would say, geographical composition. Although most of them and the majority of them are based in Spain and Portugal, their operations are all across the world, in the US, in Netherlands, France, UK, Belgium. So this is also, well, part of the process that we get involved in when we invest, helping them go international, as I was saying. And this is the fun news and the exciting news where we are right now. We are currently launching our third fund, which it's targeting 40 million. Of those 40 million, we currently have committed around 25 million, so we are already active and investing. Specifically, we've already closed 3 pre-seed investments and are in the process as we speak right now on closing another 2. Our target is to do 40 new investments with this fund. In terms of specific tickets, pre-seeds, we would usually do a first ticket of up to 250K, seed that could go up a bit more, up to 700K, and then capacity to do follow-ons on the top performers of up to 1 million. In terms of stages, in the very earliest of stages, pre-seed, seed, and as I was saying before, with an exclusive focus in terms of geography within Spain and Portugal, okay? One second. There we go. So in terms of sector-wise, we are pretty agnostic, but this is obviously could be split it or break down a bit into different business models, B2B, B2C. As I've said before, we've done both successfully, and we feel comfortable investing in both of them. Obviously, there is different subsectors where we believe are interesting opportunities, such as obviously AI. Everyone's talking about that, but we are seeing very interesting opportunities in verticalized sectors and applications of this technology, cybersecurity, fintech, and then also more consumer good focus. And also we like to have a scope or a reserved amount of the allocation for sustainability related projects such as climate tech or digital health. And that would be overall about Bind. Yeah, so any questions, happy to answer those.
Thank you so much, Alvaro. Now, questions, please, either here or in Porto. We have one here. Then we go back to Porto.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Me first? Okay. Thank you for the presentation, first of all. So my question would be, as we have already built an MVP in the ED tech sector, if you were in our place as academia, so we're university students, would you first gain some traction on the market, or would you seek funding right away to launch the business?
I'm a believer that early funding is not always the best route to go. I mean, sometimes, and especially when speaking with investors, we like to see, or at least I'm speaking personally, this may differ from different views, seeing that the product you have built, which is valuable, the MVP, is already in place, maybe with some pilots, POCs, and you can obviously speak with different kind of investors, or maybe an accelerator, incubator makes more sense because they are able to connect you with commercial clients, help you define a bit more which use cases might make more sense for the MVP. So I would say depends. Obviously, this is a very broad answer, but you should see what makes more sense in terms of the stage of the product.
Thank you. Over to Porto.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I don't know much about raising funds for a fund, but I saw that you had basically a development of Forex for each fund. I'm guessing this means that you probably have success on your funds, and is that right? And if so, what do you believe that you bring to the table as a VC?
Yeah, thanks.
Aside
For
from the fund, obviously.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. Yeah, I mean, as I was saying before, we are following a 3x increasing of the fund size, 4x in this last fund. And well, I believe what we bring to the table is, first of all, I would say the professionalization of the business in many cases, because what we find in many cases is that you usually have the product, you have some traction, but you need to set up, for example, we felt a lot of companies set up their go-to-market strategies, which are key to being able to scale and replicate the sales process. And for example, this is interesting because sometimes we find founders that want the investors and don't really block the way too much, and we adapt to that. But we are also offering our hand whenever they need us for, even connections with other VCs. And well, we have a big network of corporate clients, which we also help them in terms of commercial traction. So it's a mix, in the end, the needs of an entrepreneur are wide, and we offer them, commercial connections, investor connections, and then helping them with more day-to-day operations processes.
I think this is it. Thank you so much, Alvaro. Thank you. Over to you, Madalena.
So thank you very much. Last but not least, let's welcome to the stage Gonçalo Borges, principal at 33N Ventures. Welcome him to the stage.
All right. Thank you for the invitation, first of all. My name is Gonçalo Borges. I'm a principal at 33N Ventures. We are a global fund investing in cybersecurity and infrastructure software. Telling you a little bit about our track record. So we started 10 years ago at the technology investment arm of Sonai, which some of you probably are familiar with. Now it's called Bright Pixel Capital. We started more on the private equity side. We started doing majority investments in cybersecurity services companies. We acquired 4 companies across Europe. We merged them, and then we sold in 2022 to Thales, which is a French listed technology player. We deployed more than 150 million globally. So we invest in Europe, Israel, and in the US. Invested in some unicorns, so some of them you already know, Fitzeye, OutSystems. We invested in a company in the US called Arctic Wolf, which is a pre-IPO company. We sold also an Israeli company to Qualcomm, and these are some of the logos where deployed our capital over the last 10 years. From our current portfolio, so we spun out from the corporate VC 2 years ago, and we started investing from 33N Ventures when we did 4 investments: Panaraise in Israel, Strike Ready, it's a US company, and 2 in Europe. Exine is an Italian company, and Data Galaxy in France. Well, so the areas we invest, pretty much obvious. Cybersecurity, we have been doing this for the last 10 years, pretty much all across the board in terms of segments. Infrastructure software, I mean, the best way to put it is cloud native technologies, AI, DevOps, and data companies, right? In terms of criteria, we invest globally, so we deploy 50% of our capital in Europe, 50% outside Israel and the US. We try to position ourselves as a specialized VC. So we have all we do is investing in these verticals and creating a network that can support the companies after the investment. We focus on Series A and Series B companies, so between 1 to 10 million in recurring revenues, at least 50% growth. We typically lead or co-lead rounds, so we typically take board seats or a board observer. We aim at least 10% on the cap table in terms of equity, and we reserve 25% of the fund to follow on. So after we do the first investment, we try to support the companies in the subsequent rounds, right? In terms of the team, so we have been working together for many years, at least 6 years, the 2 managing partners for 16 years. So from Carlos Alberto, Carlos Moreira, they are the managing partners of the fund. Myself, Pedro, in Lisbon, we are the principals. Margarida, senior associate, also here in Portugal. We have 2 venture partners. Also, we have been working with them for a while. Eli, it's in Israel. Christoph is in Luxembourg. He was the founder of a company that we sold to one of the companies we sold to Thales in 2022. On the strategic committee, we have also 4 founders. Brian E. Smith, he is the founder and chairman of Arctic Wolf, which is one of the pre-IPO companies we have on the portfolio. Eyal was a founder of a company we've invested in Israel. He sits on the board of several companies in Israel, including Visa. Nuno Sebastião is the co-founder and CEO of Fidzai. Probably some of you you know the company. And Pierre Paulette, he is also the founder of a previous company we've invested in France. He was an ex-executive at Orange Cyber Defense, which is one of the biggest players in cybersecurity in Europe. In terms of expert advisory board, this is just this is non-exhaustive, so this is just a sample of some of the people we have on our network. Global coverage, and we try to pick their brains every time we are looking at a company, try to assess them prior to the investment or even to support them afterwards. That's how we position, and this is the result of many years of investing in these verticals. Right, so probably this is my last slide, so I will not take probably the full 8 minutes, but I'm open for questions. This is just some of the entities that we keep in regular we have a regular touch base with these companies. So this is not something that we do every once in a while. We have 3 buckets, so we do have conversations with go-to-market players to help, so managed security service providers, so help companies scale globally through some of these partnerships. We do have some connections with end customers, so across many verticals, and from telecom industry to energy, defense, banking, several. And then last but not least, connections with sizable tech players. So some of them, they acquired companies from us in the past. Typically with business development, meaning we are speaking with the sections or the departments inside these companies that eventually can acquire our own startups, right? So we are already seeking and letting them know where to invest, so that eventually they can be interested in acquiring some of the companies we invest, but also to gain insights, right? So they are on the ground, they are sizable companies, and they can also give us some feedback in terms of which segments we should prioritize as a VC as well. So this is it. I'm open for questions. Thank you very much.
Questions here in Porto. Do we have any questions? In Lisbon, do we have any questions?
Come on, guys, don't be shy.
It was very clear.
This is the last chance.
I think we.
No, I saw you moving your hand.
I think we have one. Yeah.
Okay, you have one.
Right, one
Great.
brave. One
Come
brave.
on.
Brave.
How they shied away. I think we don't have any questions here in this room.
Okay, so thank you very much, Gonçalo.
Let's move on.
A round of applause.
Oh!
We have one. We have one.
Thank you. Hi, Gonçalo. Don't leave yet. So, for Series A and Series B, are you still looking for the founders' personality traits and drive and all of this, or is already long ago and on the pre-seed? What is your take on that?
No, that's definitely very important, right? So probably not so much as, or I would say not so critical, at least as a pre-seed and seed, but the track record of the team. I mean, for us, it's being it a second time or a person that has been dealing with this problem for many years is critical, right? We cannot invest in a company with a founder with a great personality or a great track record. So we have to see some traction, at least 1 million in recurring revenues, and also having some demanding and sophisticated customers. So, I mean, it's 1 million in recurring revenues, but also coming from customers that are stretching the company, because we believe and we position as Series A and Series B for a reason, right? Because we try to help them with the go-to-market expansion, right? With the internationalization. So if we don't have a product market fit and if you don't have already sophisticated customers, it will be hard for us also to help those companies, right? So to your point and answering very straightforward, it seems very important, but we cannot make a decision out of just the founder track record, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, now thank you very much, Gonçalo. So that was it. So if you enjoyed hearing from our investors, I have great news. So SIM conference is already next May, and tickets are open, so you are able to buy the tickets now. And if you still haven't thought about a gift to your co-founder, that's the perfect idea. So go ahead and go to simconf.com and get your ticket. Back to you, João.
Thanks, Madalena. I already have my ticket, by the way. Move fast. And now, please allow me just to share Startup Portugal's gratitude to our partners who help us make these events possible. I will say their names and kindly ask for your applause. So, Investors Portugal, Ferroviário, 351 Portuguese Startup Community, UPTech, Porto City Council, Sograp, and Superboc Group. Subscribe to our newsletter. See you next month. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's grab a drink.